Can't believe 2024 is nearly over. It's been a great year personally on the bike. Done so much more than I thought was possible. Then I was looking through my camera roll today. I was like, bloody hell, I really have done more than I realised. There's some rides which are great rides, and I've completely forgot about them because there's just that many I've done. So the year started off down south in Bristol, where I tried to go up the steepest residential road in Europe, which is Vale Street. 33%. Really steep. It's extremely short. It's like not even a tenth of a mile. Really short. But that still took me 3 attempts to get up that. The first attempt I was just working really hard and wasn't really looking where I was going. I was just concentrating on get my head down, get the power down. I nearly ended up going into a car, so I had to put the brakes on really quick. Second attempt, my weight was too far back and I nearly toppled back over. But luckily, because I'm on flat pedals, I could get off the bike, catch myself easy enough, and there was no problems. Third attempt, straight up and over, happy days. Also in the area I did Prospect Place, which is 25%, and I was in no fitness to be able to be doing that. My legs were dead after already conquering, I think, another 3 climbs. Then I headed into Wales in February and into the Lake District. In Wales, I was in Abergavenny, where I did Rhiwr Road, which was a 10 out of 10 rated climb by Simon Warren. Absolutely brutal. Just about able to heave myself up and over it, but it was really good. I also did the Bronze Mountain and the Tumble. Really nice and scenic, really good. There's a video of that in the description if you want to check that out. And then in the Lake District, everyone talks about Hardknott Pass. That's like the iconic climb. But personally, my favourite climb up there is Honister Pass. It's nice and easy to start with. You can take in all the views, and then you get to the hard work. So you get a bit of both. You get a bit of pleasure and a bit of hard work. Then in February as well, during the half-term break, me and the Mrs. Laura, we went away for our first ever abroad holiday together. Despite us being together for 15 years. It's my first abroad holiday in 16 years. It was Laura's first ever. It's in Tenerife. Great week. But we was right next to a bike shop where you could rent a bike. In the distance you had Mount Teedy. You could see every single day, clear as day, as you walk out the front door as we go on our day. I really wanted to go up it, but didn't feel it was fair leaving Laura on her own. First time in a foreign country. And plus it's our break, and it was bought for her 30th birthday, so it would have been wrong. But very much got the itch to head over there at some point and tackle that. Then I signed up to take part in the 100 Climbs Sportive Sheffield Edition. So in preparation for that, knowing I was going to be taking on the likes of Bamford Clough, I headed back down south to Cheltenham, tackled Bushcoby Lane, which was also my 3rd attempt at it. The previous 2 times, I've not been successful getting up it. So it's like, right, I'm going to get up this finally, which I did, which I was very happy. Got up it in 1. The other 2 times I had to stop. No walking, but I had to stop. And then another ride preparing for the 100 Climbs Sportive, I headed to Wrexham, where he's taken on the likes of the Grim, Churchill, Horseshoe Pass. That was a hard day on the bike. It was the hardest 47 miles I've ever done in my life. Made harder by the fact I had the start of a chest infection, which I never realised until I got off the train at Kirk. It was like, went to go up the first climb, which was Gwent, I think it was. And I had to stop twice, I think. I was blowing out my arse, and just... that became a day of just survival and looking around, enjoying the scenery. You don't always have to beat every single climb for it to be a successful day. I really enjoyed that day, despite having to put my foot down in total, I think it was 10 times. There was no walking. I was very adamant that wasn't happening. But it was a really good day on the bike, despite having to stop all the time. But, oh well, it doesn't matter. It was a great day on the bike. Then that takes us actually to the 100 Climbs Sportive, which, good God, that was a hard day. The weather was horrendous. I knew Bamford Clough was going to be a hard ask anyway, which it averages out. I think it averages like 21-22%. Max is at 38, I think. It's absolutely bonkers. So I purposely made sure I was riding it first, give myself as best chance as possible with fresh legs. But there was no hope on that day. We're cycling through horrendous rain. The road is covered in leaves and moss and whatever else, and plus it's wet. So wheel spinning like mad. One of the only climbs this year where I've had to walk up most of it, which was a shame. But on that day, I think 75 people attempted it and 74 failed. There was only one who got up it. It was a 15-year-old. And I watched him first go down it, and he went down it like an absolute demon. I was like, oh my God, he's going to die. How fast he was going down it. But then afterwards, when we got back to the village hall, and Simon saying, yeah, the only person who has got up it this year was that 15-year-old. I was like, wow. Simon did caveat that by saying he's a year or two away from becoming a professional cyclist. So he's strong, despite being young. I'll be going back in 2025 to try and conquer that. But I want to pick a dry day, get the train up to Bamford and give it another good go. And hopefully shed a bit of weight as well. If you want to watch the video to that day, there's a link in the description to the 100 Climbs Sportive ride. Then also I was invited to ride up in the Yorkshire Dales for the Ride the Dales, which is ran by Action Events. Also they do the Ride London event. The Ride the Dales is their newest event, and I was really impressed with it. Again, there's another video of that if you want to check that out below. But we took on the likes Trapping Hill, stunning road. Going up it was beautiful, but then going down the other side, absolutely stunning. And we had the sun, unlike the previous week where we was in Sheffield and just the rain was just horrendous. This was stunning. Then we was getting towards the summer, where as I work as a teacher, I have a lot of time off, the 6 weeks off. And because I'm not class bound, I've got no real paperwork to do, so I really do have 6 weeks off, which when you want to go ride your bike is absolutely brilliant. I did 2 rides up in the Lake District. I did 3 in Snowdonia, which is my new favourite place to ride my bike. It's absolutely incredible. But also I found in Snowdonia my hardest climb I've ever done, which is Arthog. It's a mile long, averages 15%, maxes out at 32%. It's absolutely brutal. It's the hardest I've ever worked on a bike. If you're interested in checking that out, again, there's another video in the description. The favourite climb I've done was Electric Mountain. Everyone talks about the Stwlan Dam, which I also did as well in the same ride, has been the greatest climb in Wales, if not the UK. But personally, I think Electric Mountain's better. Like the final 2 miles behind the closed gate traffic-free road is just cycling utopia. It's incredible. I finally went up Hardknott Pass, a climb which previous years I'll be honest, I've been a bit scared to do. And yeah, I was really proud. I got up that side of Hardknott Pass without walking. Yet again, there's another video in the description if you want to check that out. And in that video, I go up both sides of Hardknott Pass and both sides of Honister Pass. And it was a glorious sunny day. Got all the power data on the video as well, if you want to check that out. And then another climb I've been terrified of doing as well was the Cowlid, which Simon Warren said should carry a government health warning, just how difficult it is. And he also given that a 11 out of 10 rating. So there's no messing around on that climb, it's serious. But after doing Hardknott Pass, it then gave me the confidence, like, right, if I can do that, I can give this a go. So I headed off into the Conway Valley, gave it a good go. Good God, it's brutal. But the reward at the top is absolutely stunning. Like, you gotta get past 3 sections which max over 30%, with the steepest one at 35%. But that second half of the climb is truly stunning at the top. Yet again, there's another video in the description if you want to check that out. Then the summer passed and then it was back to work, but there was still one major ride I still had to do, which was the Struggle Borderlands, which is a really, really good event. It was my first time riding a Struggle event, because they've got 3 events. They've got the Struggle Dales, which I'm doing in 2025. They've got the Struggle Moors, which has Rosedale Chimney in it. The Borderlands, really, really good event. We had the likes of Buttertubs in it. We had Fleet Moss, really, really good. But we had horrendous weather, especially the first half of the first half. Like, you know it's bad when even the Scottish cyclists saying, good God, this is bad weather. It's like, us Southerners, we moan about anything when it comes to the weather. But if the Scottish are moaning, it must be bad. If you're interested in riding one of their events, because they really are truly stunning, they really look after you. It's like premium cycling event. I'll put a link in the description down to their rides, so you can just go pick one and see if you want to take part. Like I said, I'll be at the Struggle Dales this year, if you want to check that out. If you're interested in the Struggle Borderlands, there's a video of that as well in the description, if you want to check that out. Then the last quarter of the year, I'll be honest, it's been pretty ruined. due to the fact one day I was cycling home from work. It wasn't raining at the time, but earlier in the day it was horrendous rain, so the roads are really wet. It's autumn, so the leaves are on the road, so like it's greasy on the road. It's not great for stopping and braking. And my rear wheel, as I was going down a 12% climb, about 25% going back home from work, slipped out from behind me, and I ended up headbutting the floor. First week I was fine, carried on as normal, was back at work after a day's rest. But the following week on the Monday, I was talking gibberish, I was all over the shop, I was irritable, which not like me at all. I was sent home, phoned 111. They said every response I've said so far requires an ambulance response. But as it is with the NHS at the moment, it was an 8-hour wait for an ambulance, so my mum had to take me up. I had 3 trips to A&E over the next 6 weeks. My speech was really bad. I was stuttering over every single word. I'd have short-term memory loss at times. My balance wasn't great. I'd get confused. I'd have words which like there in my head, but just it wouldn't come out. And yeah, it's very frustrating. Especially then when the doctor says like normally concussion goes within 2 weeks, but sometimes it can be up to a year or even longer depending on how bad it is. They tell you there's no real treatment other than don't drink alcohol, rest and sleep. So it's like you feel like you're not really doing much to try and help yourself. Oh, and avoid stress. So I had quite a bit of time off work and then a reduced timetable, and I felt like I was just getting no better. But then suddenly, just overnight, during the October half term on the Thursday, suddenly oh, I just said a full sentence without stuttering over myself. And then I was speaking to my parents on the phone. I was like, you've been on the phone for 5 minutes and you've not stuttered once. I was like, slowly getting there. And from the time of banging my head to finally getting back out on the bike, I think was 8 to 9 weeks, which was a very long time. But now I'm back out on the roads. The weather hasn't been great recently, but either it's been 100-mile-per-hour winds in Wales, or there's been ice, horrendous rain. It's getting dark early, so when I want to go on my climbing adventures, like getting the train somewhere and then getting the train back, it's a nightmare because you haven't got really enough time to do a good ride worth the hassle of getting out that far. So not a lot has happened this time from the bang of my head until the end of the year. I'm hoping before I go back in January I'll get one ride in. I'm thinking Aston Bank maybe a few more, but I'm hoping at least one. Anyway, I'm going to start rambling on now. That was my year 2024. Hope you've had a good 2024 and enjoyed your Christmas, and let us know what your plans are for 2025. Personally, my plans: ride the Struggle Dales, get up Bamford Clough, get up Arthog. I've got the Fred Whitton. So yeah, some good events going on in 2025, which I'm looking forward to. Fred Whitton's gonna be my first time as well, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Thanks for listening to me rambling on, and I'll see you next time on Two Wheels.